Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon of the Week with me, Daniel, Onion Gravy 64 or Civilonion depending on how you know me. This week's a bit of an anomaly because the Pokemon of the Week series is actually being designed for my own channel Onion Gravy 64 rather than Yeousch Alliance. This is because they're doing a week of Riptide, which is the sequel I believe of the Dead Island series. So go have a look at that, but that way, you know, you can say, look, I sent you here and I'll look all good and impressive. And you want to make me look good, don't you? Anyway, the Pokemon for this week is PorygonZ. In the UU tier, 474 in the Pokédex, and a pure normal type. As a result, it has a weakness to fighting, an immunity to ghost, and no resistances whatsoever. This is also a normal type that does not have an ability like Sip Sapper or Water Absorb or anything like that, meaning it always has no resistances. So when you're thinking about this Pokemon, remember it's always going to have the same type weaknesses, resistances and immunities as a very generic normal type would. 3 abilities and they're all rather interesting. Download raises your attack or special attack by 1 stage when you switch in with PorygonZ, depending on which stat in the defense column the opponent is worse with. To make this easy to explain, if you switched into a Blissey, download would improve your physical attack because Blissey's special defense is infinitely higher than its physical defense. Its second ability is adaptability. This is an ability that Eevee has as well, and it makes the normal type stab move, or stab move in any case, but it's normal for PorygonZ, double rather than 1.5. This would convert, for example, a base 60 normal type move to 120 rather than the standard 90. Analytic boosts power if you go second in a turn. PorygonZ, if it's going second in a turn, is probably going to die, so you never see that ability ever. When it comes to stat distribution, it's got an incredible base 135 in the special attack column. Its speed is then in a, well, is a category where I even had to think to myself, is it yellow or is it green? Base 90 is probably just above average, but it's not particularly brilliant. And many of the move sets that I'll be showing you kind of try and deal with this. Otherwise, its base stats are all very average. Its HP, attack, defense and special defense all idle between 70 and 85. So we're going to go on to the first set in a minute, but I want to discuss something first. When you think of PorygonZ in a competitive frame, it almost always runs the exact same set, and is only ever the 4th move that ever varies. It almost always has Tri-Attack, Dark Pulse and Hidden Power Fighting. And if I put that on every single set, you would probably get very bored, and so would I even talking about it. Consequently, I'll be showing an alternative setup you can use. It isn't the standard, but it's equally effective. So let's get on to the first set. And it's all about the choice item. Whenever you have a dubious speed stat, Choice Scarf is always an option, and with PorygonZ, Choice Specs can work in a completely different way but be equally effective. Always remember, Choice Scarf users are Revenge Killers, Choice Specs users are Wall Breakers. Very simple in theory, but if you send a Choice Scarf out thinking that you are going to break through walls, don't be surprised when the opponent does not faint. Anyway, the moves. As I've said, Tri-Attack, Dark Pulse and Hidden Power Fighting is the normal combination alongside Trick. Trick allows you to switch your item with the opponent, and obviously putting a choice item on a special or physical wall is going to pretty much cripple them. However, if you're trying this in OU, which I have indicated in the first note, Ice Beam and Thunderbolt alongside Tri-Attack, so you can get the Bolt Beam combination, can be very effective. As I said, this is the best in the OU tier because there are so many Pokemon that are quadruple weak to either Ice or Electric, especially Ice because of the very strong normal characteristics of Dragon types in general, but it does not provide, amazingly, quite as good type coverage. Normally Bolt Beam is regarded as being the best type coverage combination. Not for PorygonZ. PorygonZ has issues when it comes to trying to be out-predicted by ghost types that switch in, because quite frequently people will assume your PorygonZ is choice item to begin with before they see any moves at all. So you do have to be a bit more prediction careful when it comes to the alternative set. Now the EVs and the IVs, I'm going to go through these quickly. Now the EVs are exactly what you'd expect. Maximise your special attack, maximise your speed, regardless of which choice item you put on. IV wise though, what you can see there are the IVs for hidden power fighting. Hidden power fighting, very importantly, means you can't have a 31 speed IV. So if you are using hidden power fighting, I recommend timid on both choice item sets here, because otherwise you're going to lose speed ties by 1 point. Now, the ability. Adaptability and download can be pretty much interchangeable in every single set. The reason why adaptability is the best for this set, however, is because it means your tri-attack, which would normally be a base power of 80, goes to 160, and you can spam that till your heart's content most of the time. Tri-attack, just in case you don't know, is a move that can sometimes freeze, sometimes burn, and sometimes paralysis. Obviously only one at once, because that's how Pokemon works. But it is a very interesting move as a result. So we're going to go on to the second set, and it's the speed plus 2. What you do here is you have to switch in onto a Pokemon that will run away. So you do have to be quite careful and quite intelligent with your switching and prediction. On the turn that your opponent switches out, you use agility. This raises your speed to 510. And to put this into perspective, base 105 speed Pokemon that are running either timid or jolly can't outspeed you with a choice scarf. This is very important because it means you don't have to fear quite as many revenge killing methods. Obviously you're still weak to Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave, so you have to bear that in mind, but 510 speed is very competitive for most scenarios. Modest Nature boosts your special attack as much as you can, and you throw a life orb on it. Don't use an expert belt. I am an advocate of using expert belts in most situations, but when you're a normal type using your normal type stab, expert belt scores nil point. It can't do anything because obviously normal's never super effective, so don't use it. The EVs may look a bit weird. So like I said, you wanted to get it so after 1 agility you get 510 speed. But if you're using hidden power fighting, you have to invest 4 more speed EVs because you've got a lower IV. Therefore, if you're using the first set on the left hand side, you need 160 speed EVs, and obviously 96 HP EVs to balance it out. If you're using Bolt Beam, you can put 4 more EVs into your HP. That is how simple it is. May look complicated, trust me it isn't. Like I said, the whole reason the EVs are as such is because 510 is the magic number. There's really very little point getting much quicker because anything over base 105 speed generally has a choice band or a choice specs rather than a choice scarf. Download this time is the ability, and you may be wondering why. Remember, this works in a similar way to the choice scarf set. It isn't very powerful compared to other sets that PorygonZ can run. As a result, you need to switch in on something that has incredibly woeful special defense. Therefore, download will boost your special attack by 1 stage. This is a way of getting a boost very, very intelligently without having to get another move and therefore lower your type coverage, or indeed in PorygonZ's case, not having Calm Mind in its arsenal. So the third and final set is Special Attack plus 2. This works in a very, very different way to the previous set. Rather than using agility, Nasty Plot is the 4th move in this move system, and what it does is boost your special attack by 2 stages. You may have guessed by the name of the set. Anyway, after 1 Nasty Plot, alongside a Timid Nature maximum special attack investment, you get either 736 or 738 special attack depending on whether you're using hidden power fighting or not. That is enormous in conjunction with a life orb, and make that even bigger when Tri-Attack gets adaptability bonus. You're hitting off a 738 special attack with a move that's got a power of 160 with an extra 30% whacked on. This set hits very, very hard indeed. So much so that I did some calculations for you. Assuming you're running 738 special attack, against the normal tank Snorlax, you'll be doing between 75 and 89% damage. So you're guaranteeing a 2-hit KO even if you use a cover move the second time. Against standard Blissey, so 252 EVs in HP rather, Bold Nature, this set does 50.7% to 59.7%. So if you have entry hazards in play working with this, that is a nigh on guaranteed KO. So you can see how powerful that can be. That this can 2-hit KO Blissey, arguably the best special defensive wall that has been ever seen outside of Ubers. This set though does have its flaws, and that is that it is rather slow. Remember, its base speed of 90 is is it any good, not quite sure territory. It's only just over the average, and even in UU you will frequently be outsped. So what you have to do is put this alongside Pokemon that either paralyze the opponent, or alternatively take the fast Pokemon out first and allow this to destroy the walls. You've got to be very, very tactical with this set. I hope you found this interesting. Service will be resuming as normal on the Yeousch Alliance channel next week. Hope you enjoy it then, and bear in mind, next week we're going to be doing a little contest, so do definitely visit next week's video. Peace out.
If you enjoyed the video you've just seen, please join my Facebook group and follow me on Twitter for the latest news.